Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons.
Welcome to a Strange Eons radio mini episode, what we like to call short eons. That's Eric Morgood over there.
Hello.
And that is Vanessa Williams over there.
Hello.
So while we're all still in lockdown, the point of these short episodes is to give you suggestions for something you can easily stream and watch at home, or maybe something you've never seen. Maybe it's something that should be seen again. But with all of that in mind, we're going to take a tiny little break. We're going to come right back and give you our suggestions for this week.
Crazy straw! Crazy straw! Crazy straw!
There's never been a straw crazier. Kids everywhere love Crazy Straw because it makes drinking milk and juice just like playing a game. Everyone should have Crazy Straw, but be sure to get the original because Crazy Straw is safe and non-toxic. Look for Crazy Straw at your favorite store soon.
Oh, God. My heart.
You almost went to Donald Duck territory there.
It was pretty exciting.
I'm very excited about this one, you guys. My pick for this week is on Disney Plus. I understand that a lot of people might not have Disney Plus, but I also know that a ton of people do have Disney Plus, and you probably have it for all the Disney movies, The Mandalorian, The Clone Wars, all of that stuff. But I want to push heavily the Imagineering story.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it Imagineering.
Walt set a standard early on with the Imagineers. There was a standard that surprised people so that they left thinking, wow, how did Disney do that?
This is a dream that started in Anaheim that's traveled the world.
We've come a long way through the years, haven't we? Unbelievable.
There's such a pride in being able to create a place that brings that much happiness to people.
Anytime you take people behind the scenes, you see the imperfections, the trial and error, or the experimentation.
Behind all of these curtains are different projects going on. This is the cutting edge of the technology of Imagineering.
I've heard about it. Is it true? There is this underground city, and I wonder what's down there. I don't know if you've ever walked through the hallways of a Star Destroyer before.
Well, we're in the inner sanctum of the Disneyland Matterhorn. Nobody ever gets the chance to see us, only a special few.
Oh, Vanessa.
I have no idea.
It has a Rotten Tomatoes critics rating of 100%, and the audience has it at 96%. This is a 6-episode documentary series on the making and building of Disneyland. And it starts in the 50s, and every episode is like a decade of work. And if you're like me and you like construction porn where it's just, seeing how things are getting built up and everything like that. And you just watch videos of old cities and then it suddenly is being changed by the decades and all that stuff. That's what this is, only it's Disneyland, guys. It is so neat to see what Disneyland was like on opening day. They talk about all of the problems that happened on opening day, how they didn't have enough water fountains and shit like that. And they go all the way up to the latest stuff that's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy, and even the new stuff they're doing. And you guys, the new stuff they're doing is crazy. If you thought the animatronics, in the 70s were kind of kitschy and fun and everything, the shit they're doing, like shooting out animatronics from a cannon to do flips in the air to look like Spider-Man, because that is what is coming.
Whoa.
And it looks cooler than shit. So it's called The Imagineering Story. Every episode it's a little long. I think it's like an hour and a half for each episode, but it is so well worth it. You just get sucked right in. I watched all 6 episodes over 2 nights. So good.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Well, I'll jump in with my recommendation. So it's a little bit self-serving, but I realized I hadn't actually recommended it, but it is available to anyone who has Hulu, which is the film that I'd spent some time working on, Prospect.
More like prospecting is indeed an obscure craft, an art form worthy of the highest order of review. Some of us have the proclivity for greatness, while most do not. And those ambitious masses are the sacrifice this forest demands, so that the true diviners can stand atop the mountain of corpses and claim their riches. Which one are you? Are you one of the great ones?
Oh, and Eric's got a copy. Yay. Thank you for purchasing that, Eric. None of the money goes to me, but I'm still happy about it. It's a movie that I was an assistant editor on. Just to give you a little bit of a breakdown about it. Like I said, it's available on Hulu, so you can check it out there. It's about a father and daughter who are in this sort of really grungy, grimy future world setting. So very kind of like Firefly-esque feeling to it. And they take up a mission to try and get some money by going down to a planet to get a very rare gem that you can only get by cutting open a organic species, and it's very difficult to do. While they're down there, of course, trouble erupts, and essentially our lead young girl ends up traveling across the planet with a horrible, awful man, also known as Pedro Pascal, who's also the Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
If you watch The Mandalorian and you really enjoyed it, I highly recommend checking out Prospect, because he has a lot of talking, but you get to see his face, so that's fun. But he's still in a giant suit, so you still got that going on. You don't have to worry about having to do a lot of mental gymnastics. So it's a lot of fun. The lead actress, Sophie Thatcher, is really, really good. It's got a nice little role by Jay Duplass. It's a very small budget film, and they do the best with what they've got. But I think it's pretty magical. I think that they've got a lot of good elements going for it. The directors did a good job. It's shot out in the Hoh rainforest here in Washington State, so it's very lush. If you miss the outdoors, check it out vicariously through them.
Yeah, critics have it on Rotten Tomatoes at 89%, so that is not too fucking shabby.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
We also had it at the Issaquah Film Festival. We screened that.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And I think they made it into SIFF as well as, and they played in Tacoma too. So yeah, nice little local pick.
I wish I had seen it in the theater, because all the gigantic dust motes looked so fucking cool on the TV screen, and I was like, "Oh man, this looks really neat."
It was, and the dust was the hardest part. I was pretty heavily involved in getting footage between our CGI artist Ian Hubert, who's just like he's insane. He's a savant. I just saw him accidentally on a CGI video podcast thing, whatever they're called, YouTube. thing. And I was like, oh my God, it's Ian. It's because he's amazing. That's why they have him there. The way they got there in the end, though, I might have mentioned it before on the show, but they went down to the director's basement. They put, I think, a single light there. It was just a really dusty basement, and they just kind of wafted the air a little. And so all of those particles are actual dust. And then they went in and they found ways to manipulate them to make them look bigger. And like there was lots of layers of space. It took a long time. It was the hardest part of the film, but I think it turned out well.
Man, yeah, it looks amazing.
Alrighty, so I've got one that's far more down to earth. 2015's He Never Died.
Maybe you should join us for a ride.
Oh, shit!
Get out of my house.
How are you doing today, Jack?
We need to talk.
Do you have anything aside from being ambiguous and hostile?
Hi.
Hello? Who's Andrea?
You never mentioned a daughter.
We just met a few hours ago.
So what do you want to do today?
Bingo.
Plenty.
You're kind of out there, aren't you?
Get out!
Jack, I was beginning to think that you just crawled out of the ground.
I was shocked to find out you had a kid. They have Andrea.
Why is he looking at me like that?
What are you doing? Have you seen a young lady with a lip ring in here today?
What's she look like?
A young lady with a lip ring. Hey! Are you Derek?
Yeah, motherfucker.
How old are you?
I have no idea, but I'm in the Bible if that means anything. I'm known as Cain.
Probably just gonna go kill another room full of people. You are?
Probably.
Come on!
I'm getting you out of here. I'm going to kill you. I am going to tear you apart and eat you. It's not because I want to, but I have to. Let me die!
This is one I just stumbled across as a Henry Rollins fan. I thought, well, let's see what this is. This is Henry Rollins' best film. This is what this is. He is amazing in it. It's directed by Jason Krawczyk, I'm going to go with.
That's not so bad.
Krawczyk.
Wow.
Yeah, Krawczyk, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. But it stars Henry Rollins, as I mentioned, and Boo Boo Stewart, who you might know, who I'm sure all of our listeners know from the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn.
Beautiful.
But, she is Warpath in X-Men Days of Future Past. It's probably a little more knowable.
Wait, who was she in Twilight?
I don't know.
Dang it. I would know that better.
You tell us, Vanessa.
I read all the books too. I'm not proud of it.
That's all right. Henry Rollins plays what they dub as a social outcast who's thrust out of his comfort zone when people come hunting for him for various reasons, because he's got an incredibly violent past and he also has a lot of money. Now, the interesting part about this story is trying to figure out if he is a vampire or is he an angel or what exactly he is. And part of what makes his performance so interesting is he is absolutely done with anything that has to do with living in the modern world at the beginning of the film. He lives in his apartment. He goes to this bar every day where he has breakfast or eats or whatever, or drinks, probably more appropriately to say. And then he gets messed up with a group of people who are causing trouble and problems for people he sort of thinks he might end up caring for. So it's just a unique, interesting film, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And if you're not a Henry Rollins fan, I think you're still going to like it. If you are, it's absolutely a must-see.
What is that on?
That would be... where was that?
That's the whole point, Eric.
I know, and I wrote it down. I've got it over here. Let me see here. Never died.
My God.
I believe it's Netflix.
Okay.
But it is also available on Canopy.
Okay, cool.
Canopy for sure. I know it used to be on Netflix. I didn't double check that. But it's definitely on Canopy. And as a funny little side note, the bar where he hangs out all the time is in Toronto, and it's called the Bovine Sex Club.
Beautiful.
That's the real club. So, enjoy.
I think most of us can agree that bovines ooze a certain sexuality, that, with their nipples all exposed.
Their long, beautiful mane.
Oh, I thought you were going back to the nipples.
No.
Well, all right, everybody. There you have it. 3 very different choices for you to enjoy and get you through the week. We will be back with a regular episode in just a couple of days. And until then, see ya.
Bye.
Our podcast is recorded at Eric's house, and Vanessa's house, and Kelly's house, and is engineered and edited by Eric Morgret. Our theme music is Strange Aeons Part 1 by the band Nightshade, and is used with permission. Find Strange Aeons Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever fine podcasts are found.